playing forehand piano music, pianists must deal with the physical restriction involved with middle hands, that is, the primo player's left and secondo's right hand. Consider this painting of Wolfgang and Manuel Mozart. It shows how already in the classical style the middle hands sometimes interchange their position in four-handed works. Contrast that with this. But that is not what Brahms composed. Here is what Brahms actually wrote. Among other things, the interchanging of the middle hands provides a chance for close physical contact, sometimes only seemingly for the sake of music. Like in dances, four-handed music created opportunity for the opposite sex to be close with each other in a socially acceptable way. Four-handed music is one of the few musical genres where we encounter physical sensations not only by touching the instrument, but also by sensing the physical presence of your partner. Unfortunately, in music analysis, these important features have often been overlooked. György Kurtág is among the composers who recently exploited the physical possibilities offered by four-hand piano music. In his four-hand compositions, the numerous distributions of the primo and the secondo parts create a private, even intimate space for the two pianists. This intimacy and bodily interaction are not necessarily audible nor apparent from the score alone. Nevertheless, they are keenly perceived by the performers, and often by the audience. Consider this video clip of Kurtág and his wife, Marta Kurtág. The performance offers an example of two musicians and a couple in real life for many decades, sharing the same keyboard in a sensitive and appreciative way. It seems that inside the great hall, the couple is creating their own safe space where the hands will meet and touch, sometimes on the keyboard and other times off the keyboard. Notice that the choice of distribution between primo and secondo seems to be in direct contrast with their typical roles, since it is the primo who plays the lower and secondo the higher notes of the keyboard. What are then Kurtág's intention regarding the crisscrossings of the hands and torso? What would be the difference if the musicians would play it in the way that is written in my recomposed version, that omits all the interchanges? Both external and internal features help explain the crisscrossing here. First, this piece presents a classic example of Kurtág's so-called periodic form, in which a question, first gesture, is followed by an answer, second gesture, and then followed by a coda, final gesture. In Kurtág's four-handed version of this piece, the question-answer play is underlined by each gestural exchange between the secondo and primo parts. Moreover, as the piece continues, registral distance is increased, ultimately resulting in leaps that span the length of the keyboard. This registral spanning becomes visually more apparent with the unusual hand distribution, as the two pianists are physically intertwined. A different type of interaction between the performers is seen in Beating, Quarreling, another four-hand piece by Kurtág. Remarkably, only 3 notes are played in this entire piece: F natural, F sharp, and G natural, all in the same register. Of course, performers may well strive to be polite by dodging their hands before the duo partner plays. But on the other hand, the title of the piece rather suggests that the performers should each fight for their territory. In performance, there is a danger of striking the fingers of your duo partner during these 3-note gestures, especially when the two pianists quickly play the same note one after the other. At first, the commas in the score enables the hands to comfortably avoid hitting each other. Later on, the comma is omitted, which means the players need to move their hands quite quickly here. In the final moments, there are even 3 repeated notes until the piece ends with the final F-sharp unison. In all, the threat of beating becomes greater as the piece progresses, since whenever there are repeated tones between parts, the potential danger of collision increases. As we listen to this entire short movement, consider how the highly constrained use of pitches and rhythms is reflected by the highly constrained physical space of the two pianists. Tellingly, the liner notes of one of its recordings states that Flowers We Are is for 3 hands. This is reflected in the score, where the primo player uses only the right hand throughout the work. In Beating, Quarreling, Kurtág's notation nonetheless instructs that all 4 hands should be engaged into this artificial combat, despite the fact that the work could be, in actuality, be played only by 3, by 2, or even only by 1 hand. From a purely acoustical point of view, it is probably insignificant whether 1, 2, 3, or 4 hands would play the final F-sharp note. But conversely, within the context of its performance, this is the entire point of the piece.